Hey everybody, welcome back to Golf Test Dummy, the channel where I use my game to help your game, hopefully. Today, I want to do something a little bit different. I've had so many people in the comments section of a lot of videos come out and ask me about the JVGA swing, the Jim Venetos Golf Academy swing that I reviewed. And to give sort of a wrap-up and a summary, I've done several videos on this where I tried to explain it, but for some I'm realizing that it's not quite enough, it's not in-depth enough. And I want to dispel a few myths, answer a couple of questions, and hopefully give you some closure, a wrap-up, my final thoughts, and the state of my game going forward, and what I'm doing now as opposed to then, and all of that. First of all, let me start out by saying I don't feel like I have abandoned anything. And as I've said before, there are so many parts and pieces and information from my review of the JVGA swing that stay with me and will always be with me. They'll always be a part of my golfing self and my golfing life and, quite frankly, my daily life. So I want to give this a little bit of context. I got a comment this morning on one of my old videos where I was reviewing the JV swing, and it really kind of prompted me to make this video. It was a comment and some questions that were fairly in-depth from one of my subscribers named Lance Runnels. I hope I'm pronouncing that last name correctly. Sorry, Lance, if I don't, and I apologize if I butchered it, but Lance Runnels, I believe, is the last name. And I'm just going to go through and kind of read my response to some of his comments and questions. Sometimes when I write really well thought out things, and my writing comes across and I read them back and I think, wow, that almost sounds like you're smart. But then when I try and talk in my southern accent and my drawl and the speed at which my brain runs, it comes out all. So I'm going to go back and read what I typed. So my last response to him was this, and you'll have to go back and read the comments. I believe they're in week 8 Eureka, where he posted these comments. So it read something like this. He had asked me to explain my reason for abandoning the swing method and if my game had improved since then. And this was the response that I typed. It's a great question, and I've tried to answer it in a few videos, but I'm finding that my summaries aren't in-depth enough for some of my viewers. Not to be too long-winded, yeah, it's too late for that, but a brief bit of context to this may help. Jim is awesome. I consider him a friend, and I hope he does the same. His method and knowledge are very sound. This is how he makes his living, and he helps a lot of people. That, in itself, is great for the game and those that play it. For me personally, I wouldn't say I've moved on. Stillness is a part of my intentions now, but I found my personality trying to employ an actual physical stillness led to an obsession over the movement in my left knee and stole my focus away from the main target, the act of striking the golf ball. And that's just for me personally. That's me personally. A lot of other people don't have that issue. So my mental stillness approach means I forget about movements, as is his goal, and I focus my concentration solely on club and ball interaction. That has been working well for me recently, and I feel much more confident, and that's true. I feel like Jim doesn't explain how to stay still because he can't. Not because he isn't wise enough, but because it is a very individual thing. This is very important. This is one of the messages I feel, and again, I can't speak for Jim and would never do that, but I feel that that is the ultimate message he's trying to get across to people is that I can't tell you these things. You have to discover them for yourself. As he says, stillness is your guide. Your own personal stillness will be your teacher, and what you learn from it can't be wrong. He says that also. That, I believe, is his genius. He isn't really your teacher. Stillness is. So many students get frustrated because he refuses to go into detail about the movements of the hands and the arms. I've seen that comment so many times on his videos and my videos. people obsessing, wanting to know, how do my arms move? How do my hands move? And he won't tell you, and it frustrates people. So he can't, because doing so violates the sole principle to let stillness teach you every single detail without having you do a single thing. It's a big, deep concept that a lot of people just can't fathom. At the end, I am a student of stillness. Still. And always will be, even though I am moving. LOL. I feel like that response that I gave in this comment section really sums up what's going on in my game now, what I gathered and what I learned from my time reviewing the JVGA swing. I reviewed it for 6 months. I initially signed up for 3, and I gave it another 3 months. And I've said this before. That should tell you the extent to which I think this can help people's game. And I've said this before. Jim is a whole golf teacher. He doesn't just teach a setup and a swing. So many people, they put him in this little box that, oh, he's just teaching that weird swing where you stay still. That is so short-sighted, in my opinion. If that's all you glean from it, if your brain hits a wall and that wall tells you that all he does is teach a closed setup with no movement, and that's as far as you go into it, you are really missing the whole point, and you're not getting it. And you need to go a little bit deeper. He's always saying that, let's go deeper, let's go deeper. If you're just going out there and thinking, I'll buy this equipment, I'll get it custom fitted, and I just got to make a good swing and hit it really hard and all this stuff, if that is the extent of how you view the entire game of golf and the entire golf swing to be, then I hate to tell you this, but you're really thinking this tall when you need to be thinking this tall. Okay? That, I hope, kind of sums this up. And as I've said, I'm still a student of that. The things that I learned, they will stay with me forever, and I still employ a lot of them, even though it may not look like it on camera, even though I may say that I'm trying this and I'm trying that and I'm reviewing this. I have to make my channel go through and reach more people than just those interested in Jim's methods. There are so many golfers out there, so many average golfers like me that they're struggling, they're having a hard time, and not everybody thinks along the same wavelengths. And that's what Jim has also said. He said, I don't necessarily reach a certain demographic. I reach a certain mentality. And if you don't have that mentality, that's not the way you think, and that's not the way that you go about life, and that's not the way you do things or that you study or that you learn, then that may not be the process for you. It may not be something that's going to lead you to the promised land. So that's why I'm out looking for other things, and I'm trying other things, and I'm doing all kinds of experiments, and that I'm experimenting with my own game, which, to be honest, is to the detriment of my improvement, because I'm constantly moving around trying other stuff. I can't just stick with one thing. That's really a sacrifice that I make on my part to try and produce for this channel, to try and make it to reach as many people as possible, is to explore a lot of different things. And in doing so, I'm constantly reshuffling and messing up my own game. And, you know, I'm never going to be a pro golfer. I'm never going to be known for being this incredible player. So this is my legacy. This is what I'm trying to leave, is trying to help as many people as I can learn about the game and go deeper into the game, as I am trying to do myself. And Jim can certainly help you with that. And that's one of the reasons that I've said time and time again in my videos, you can watch the videos he's got for free on YouTube. And you can maybe learn some of his methodology and the setup and the process and all that, and you may get some results. But if you're not working with Jim as one of his students, you are missing out on so much that goes so far beyond a setup and a swing. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it answers all of your questions. As I said, a lot of you have been asking for it. I'm going to post this up this week. And I hope that a lot of you who are subscribers to me or who are interested in the JVGA method, I hope you watch this video, and I hope it helps. And I'll see you next time.